spoken. Wins for the Two Dragons and a Lion.
But Romeo Magical has won the Derby.
It's going to be Daytime Nemo.
Delardy-Dar leads it for home off the corner. Striding clear from Churchfield Centre by Iman. Delardy-Dar wins the Derby.
Who will add their name to the Roll of Honour for the Star Sports and TRC English Greyhound Derby. I can't wait until 9:15 this evening. It seems like a long time to go until we crown the Derby champion of 2025. But I'm Danny Jackson, this is Gone to the Dogs Live. We are on the stage here at Toaster, if you're wondering why it looks a little bit different, because we've got Bjorn again here later on. I'll be dancing in the front, and I cannot wait to see the rest of the bands that we've got this afternoon. But, as always, I've got my co-pilot, Joe Keneally. Joe, how are you doing?
Not too bad, thank you, Danny. Been a long 6 weeks. You know, plenty of work has gone into this, and a brilliant broadcast that the guys and yourself, a cracking job hosting this, and all comes down to this. As Hobbsy uses a lot, Greyhound immortality, canine immortality. We will see tonight, and will we see the fifth dog go back-to-back in Delardy-Dar. The story sells itself. The Irish Derby winner, the English Derby winner, cheap sandwiches, a length behind Bocco's Diamond, can't get the better of him. Can he reverse that tonight? And we've got a UK trainer who knows how to beat the Irish when he's in with them on his own in Patrick Janssen. So a brilliant final, and I can't wait for it.
I cannot wait. And Hobbsy, you'll be running around and emceeing here at Toaster today. What does it mean tonight for the 6 canine athletes?
Well, as Joe says, you know, canine immortality is one thing, but you know, the English Greyhound Derby final is just part of the British sporting fabric, and I say this all the time, and it's a great occasion. And yes, we could have history tonight with the, you know, Delardy-Dar or Bocco's Diamond, but it's a stacked field, isn't it? They're all 6 superb greyhounds. I've almost suggested it's maybe the final we wished for. And we've got maybe 1 or 2 exceptions, but you don't. Things don't always run to course as you would expect, but I think in this instance we've got an outstanding final to look forward to. And I tell you, it's just good to be here. I think it's so important that, you know, part of Gone to the Dogs, that we grabbed this opportunity to showcase the best of greyhound racing, and we're going to see that tonight. It's a brilliant card, 15 races, finishing with the Durando, which is a real disappointment in terms of Monge's Wild not being here, because I think he's the next potential superstar, as much as Delardy-Dar and Bocco's Diamond. It's their moment tonight.
Well, we're going to have a look at the final just to see who is running later on at 9:15, because we've got the draw, and I mean, Soleil Mio probably not drawn on the right side of Delardy-Dar for him, Joe, but I think mostly we're happy with the draw.
Yeah, I think Delardy-Dar Connections would have been least pleased, but he knows how to win round here. His track craft around here is something I haven't seen before. He finds ways to win. He won't be happy being in 3. Leon, they would have preferred to be in 2, and Solomio in 1 and 3, of course. But he won from trap 4 last year, when he didn't really come away either. He didn't really come away last year, but he didn't have a Solomio inside him who was going to move off. So I don't know what he needs to do, Delardy-Dar, to win. And to be fair, Danny, the whole race probably does depend on how Bocco's Diamond traps, and we've said that for a long time now. If he traps level, he's probably going to go and win. But he isn't a massive fan of these boxes here, and we've seen that. He can be a little bit inconsistent. And I think it's only one favourite, Hobbsy, in 13, that has won the Greyhound Derby. The last 13 years, we've only had one favourite, and that was, of course, JT Jet for Paul Hennessy at Wimbledon. So it's a really intriguing race. And even the outsider, 20-1, Bombay Pat, like he's a breakaway from winning. Like, this dog's as fast as anything when he gets it right. His Achilles heel is he doesn't trap. Now, if he traps from 4 and he can hold them on the outside and goes round in front, he won't be for catching. So there's so many ifs and buts to it. And you can't rule out Droopy's Plunge. As soon as that draw come out the other day, in trap 1, right, get on, 25-1, get what you can on. Because it was too big. And then it was sold here in 2. It was like a match made in heaven with the draw. So, yeah, that price was way too big. He looks an each way, a solid each way play. It's just a brilliant fight. It's such a good final, it really is, and we've got a great card.
Exactly, we've got a great card. I mean, but the stories are just aplenty. And, you know, Joe talks about Solomio and Peter Cronin. If you remember 12 months ago, we were talking about how Liam Dowling has gone so close, and then he goes on to win it. He does the jig in the middle of the park behind us there, and it was just fantastic. And you know, it's pictures that we've reproduced this year because it just stirs things up. It shows you what it means. what's Peter Cronin's reaction going to be if Solomeo hits the front and you know, to try to go one better than your Timwell Bishes and Kildares and others that got to the final. Crocus Champ whoops Jack. Yeah, he goes back to the Wimbledon days. Well, I think 2014 was his first finalist. So yeah, that's a long time ago to be cracking at the English Derby. He might just have cracked it tonight.
And it's amazing, Danny, what he does to you. Liam Dowling, as calm as ever. Yeah. He's such a cool customer, and you see the video where he throws his jacket up in the air when he knows the La-di-Da's going to win that last year. He throws his jacket in the air. That's what this sport does to people.
Now we are going to meet the finalists because we want to see who is racing tonight, and here they are.
Third, staying on his Droopers plunge, then comes in fourth place Keyfield Maverick. They're down the lane, Bonco's Diamond by a length, they're queuing up to challenge. Slick step and wears him down, and on the far side Droopers plunge came late as well.
As they turn for the judge, Solo Mio with switching up on the inside to challenge his dynamic force, but Solo Mio sees it out well. As they turn for the judge, it is Bombay Pat with a clear lead. He missed his break, but he's got the job done all right.
Still Cheap Sandwiches by a length, Soleil Mio, then Droopers Bookham on the far side, picking up late. Cheap Sandwiches, Droopers Bookham did a stack of running. With his kennel mate Cheap Sandwiches, and with them Droopers plunge back in third for Patrick Janssens. He's also in next week's big showdown.
I can't wait. I cannot wait for 9:15. It's going to be absolutely superb. Now, we are going to have a look at a few different graphics, I guess, with fastest sectionals, fastest times. I mean, La-di-Da, he came out, he won in the first round, and no one's beaten his time yet.
No, 28.50, and that was probably a dog who was frustrated that he'd been on his bed for so long. And you see it a hell of a lot when they do come back fresh, and they absolutely fly out the boxes, and he'd done that. It was made a little bit easier with the 2 and the 3 in the race coming together. The other boss, I think, and Gunslinger were in the race, and they just come together, but it didn't take away from what he'd done. And oh my God, and he kind of set his mark then, and people were thinking, can he then follow that up again? He followed it up. You know, he qualified behind Ballinabola Joe when he ran a massive race in defeat that day. Then he beat him. You know, then he in the quarter-final, semi-final last week. How he won last week was just beyond me. I don't know how he got up last week, because there's no. That's right, Danny. And there's no right to catch Solomeo when he's 3 lengths behind him. You know, this dog stays and he's strong. And I've never seen a dog with a track craft like the La-di-Da around here.
I think he's been the star of the Derby, albeit he's not the favourite to win tonight. I think he's been the star because he's defended his crown so magnificently. And Joe mentioned last week's win and beating Solomeo, and I think the previous week with picking up Churchfield Seed. Yeah. I mean, that was just an absolutely enthralling matchup. And just to sort of backtrack slightly with Droopy's plunge, there's only one greyhound who's beaten Bocco's Diamond who's in the lineup tonight. And that's Droopy's plunge. He hasn't done it once. He's done it twice. He finished in front of him in the juvenile.
Yeah, he did.
So if you look at the form, OK, there's only one greyhound that has been, that is in that lineup that has beaten Bocco's Diamond. That's Droopy's plunge. So that, again, that's why he's been punted again at big each-way prices.
Well, we're looking at the times, 28.50 for Delardi-Dar, 28.51 twice for the Bocco's Diamond, but he's not quite got there. Now, we are going to have a look at Delardi-Dar winning his semi-final, because this was a sensational race. Now, it was Delardi-Dar in trap 2 on this occasion. Soleil Mio has led the field. You've got Bombay Pat in there as well, but where Delardi-Dar comes from here, he starts to move down the back, and that pace into the third bend is what's got in the race, I think.
Oh, absolutely. This is a proper dog in front, Danny, as well. Like, you feel sick for Droopy's Bookham there in 3 and Slick Sentinel. It probably just cost each other qualifying, maybe. You never know. Droopy's Bookham tried there, but Delardi-Dar, once he got going again off that 3rd and 4th bend, to catch that dog was just absolutely astronomical run from him, and he's just that dog, obviously. He just doesn't know when he's beat.
He doesn't know, but even just noticing Bombay Pat, Joe would know that there's not too many dogs that will give Slick Sentinel a start and a beating down the far side. He was behind Slick Sentinel. Yeah. He was in front of him going into that 3rd bend. So, again, you know, he's a big price. He's a ridiculous price, really, for a dog of his calibre. And, you know, he came in to the Derby as one of maybe the dark horses of the competition, and he's now in the final. If he produces his best on the night, who handles the hullabaloo of Greyhound Derby final night? Look, Bocco's Diamond has got the T-shirt. He's done that in Shelbourne Park. It's far more a cauldron than Toaster is. But there's nevertheless a big noise that comes from those stands.
Well, let's watch Bocco's Diamond in action. We have got an edited version because, of course, Dynamic Force has broken his hock, but he is safe and well at home again, and he's absolutely, you know, on the mend. He's going to stud.
Brilliant. And it was a lovely video that we saw Kevin put on in the week, so fantastic to see that Dynamic Force is all well. And yeah, look, the minute he trapped level, Danny, he was going to lead, wasn't he? We've seen him in with cheap sandwiches when he missed the break slightly and he was still in front of him going around the 2nd bend. So yeah, he's a ground of a lifetime, and many say, Hobbsy, he is the fastest ground on the planet. You know, there's plenty who say that. Ian Fortune's one who just waxes lyrical. The sponsor, Ben Keefe, says he hasn't seen a ground like him. He's very, very special. Yeah, he's an Irish superstar. He's no question about that. He's part owned by some English guys as well, in Graham and Bev, of course, and trained by an Englishman as well, albeit based in County Tipperary, in Graham, Holland. No, it's sensational in many ways to see what Bocco's Diamond is doing, but then he's in the shadow, isn't he? Cheap sandwiches, but he shouldn't be, really. He's 2nd in the Irish Derby. He's quality ground. I think they've met 4 times, and he's yet to beat Bocco's Diamond. Why can't he do it? If he gets a better break than Bocco's Diamond, he's got the speed.
Now we're going to have a look at what we've got in store for you this evening, because we have got 12 cracking races, and the first of them is the StarPlaw.com Trophy at 6:35. We've got the GreyhoundTrader.com Stakes Final. We've got the Puppy Trophy, the Time Greyhound Nutrition Sprint, of course, plenty right the way through until 9:55. I mean, the jewel in the Star Sports and CRC English Derby final at 9:15. We've got the Priced Up Bet Derby Plate final, and we finish with the Durando, which is going to be a cracker, but not as cracking as Keneally's Crackers. What do we reckon? We'll see. We're going for an early nap at next best. Ballymac Kobe was 10-1, 12-1 a few days ago. It was way too big. Shouldn't be any bigger than 5-6-1. Keefield Maverick, I don't see how he doesn't lead, Danny. There's not much early in the race, and this dog doesn't stop in front. So 28.80 off the front, I think, will win the race. New in Cloud next best to get the better of Romeo Empire, who is stepping up in trip, an intriguing runner stepping up in trip. I just thought the Lamorna dog in 2 might just be a bit of a hazard to him. If New in Cloud can come away, I think he can lead and make all. And all the way through, yeah, look, there's just superstars galore on there. Oh, there are. Definitely superstars galore, so I can't wait to see who comes out on top in all the finals, 10 of them that we have this evening. Now, this is embarrassing for me because it's the profit and loss of what we've done so far, but Hobbsy, you've been flying. It's slightly embarrassing, though, when I think that Gary the Arb was 4-1 and the other 5 selections have got me, well, not too much more. So I think there's 1 or 2 favourites in there. But, yeah, hey, look, it's always nice to be... I've got plenty of experience, so it's nice to be just on top there of you guys, having Darryl underneath me, Joe, Ashley, Jason and Danny, just looking up at Hobbsy. I think that's the way it should be. Well, let's see what we've got tonight and see if we can get a full house. We've had 1 full house throughout the Derby. So Joe with Keefield Maverick, Hobbsy Tiffield Tarquin, Jason's with Headford Asher, I'm with Iceman's Girl, we've got Emily with Vargar, Ashley's Delardi-Dar and Darryl with Romeo Steele. So I don't think, apart from the first race where you're going up against each other, you two.
I was going to say someone's there has got to go, but I've already lost one of them, haven't I? So, yeah, Hobbsy.
That worries me. He's a shrewd judge, is Joe, so I just hope he gets one loser.
Right, do join us from 6:30 this evening. We cannot wait to bring you the Greyhound Derby final and the supporting card.